Staying focused is probably one of the most difficult things to do, especially today when we are surrounded by so many distractions. We now have smartphones, smartwatches, and other smart devices that constantly distract us. Just when you wanted to work, you get an Instagram notification. Just when you wanted to study, someone comments on your picture on Facebook. You can't wait to check it out. And I did not even mention your email. But at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours a day, nothing more and nothing less. And what makes some people successful is that they have the ability to make the most out of it by focusing on doing that one thing that eventually makes them successful, while the majority struggles. And I understand, because at some point I struggled too. I remember back in school, I couldn't even study for 15 minutes. But today, I can stay focused for hours. What I'm about to share with you here in this video will literally change your life. So if you want to learn how to stay focused, if you finally want to get rid of all distractions, then stick around and make sure to watch the video till the end. Number 1. Start with a tiny task. Here is the simplified reason why you can't focus. Let's say you have to finish a certain project or an assignment, or you want to read a book. The problem is that whenever a certain project is too big, it becomes vague that you can't see what exactly it starts and when it ends, or how long it's going to take. Your brain will do everything to delay it or avoid it. You turn on your computer and you want to finish that assignment. It might take you an hour or 2 or even 3. So your brain starts coming up with excuses to delay it, such as, why not watch a video on YouTube and then start? Or how about to get yourself a cup of coffee? It will help you to concentrate. But in reality, your brain is just trying to avoid that vague task. When you turn on YouTube, you don't decide to watch it for 2 or 3 hours. You just say, let me watch this one video, and then one video turns into 2 videos, then into 3, and then you find out that you have spent 2 hours watching YouTube. Because that's how your brain works. So how to trick your brain? Forget about finishing that assignment today. Break it into little tiny small pieces where each piece would take you 10 or 15 minutes at best. And then set the target to finish the first piece. And don't even bother yourself about the rest of it. Once you're done with the first, then move to the second one, and so on. Number 2. Rest is far more important than you think. No matter how smart, talented you are, you can't focus for 10 hours a day. Each day you have a limited number of hours that you can focus, and it depends on you how you want to spend them. If you are at the peak of your energy, use that time to do the important things, because with every hour you're awake, your ability to focus diminishes. That's why after an entire day of being awake, it's super difficult to concentrate. Your brain consumes at least 20% of your body's energy, and if you focus, it consumes even more. And the best way to let your brain rest and regain back its energy is through sleep. So if you're not having enough sleep, don't be surprised that you'll find it difficult to stay focused. Make sure to do the most important things at the beginning of the day and leave the unimportant things for later. Next, multitasking is a hoax. A lot of people believe in multitasking, but the truth is that there is no such thing as multitasking. You can't do multiple things at the same time, because your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. When you're multitasking, you're simply switching from one task to another in such a speed that it seems like you are multitasking. If you're wondering what's wrong with that, hear me out. Whenever you switch your attention from one thing to another, you need around 15 minutes to completely get your brain back to what you are doing. So when you're multitasking, you're diminishing your performance in both of these tasks. You will be far better off if you first finish one task and then focus on the second. That's why a single distraction such as checking your phone in the middle of work can set you back for at least 15 minutes. Imagine what happens if you check your phone every 5 minutes. A task that usually takes 30 minutes can easily be stretched to 3 hours. Number 4. Train your brain to focus. Your ability to focus is like a muscle. Imagine trying to do push-ups for the first time. You probably won't be able to do more than a couple, maybe 5, maybe 15, but that would probably be your limit. Even if you train the entire day, you won't be making 50 or 100 push-ups the next day. You will just get yourself exhausted and probably would give up the next day. The same logic applies to your ability to focus. If you haven't trained your brain to focus for hours, you can't suddenly read a book for 3 straight hours. You have to understand that to build your focus, it will take you weeks, maybe months. Start with 5 minutes. Put aside everything and set a goal to focus for just 5 minutes. And then reward yourself. Take a break, go and watch YouTube, do whatever you enjoy, and then come back and focus for another 5 minutes. The next day, increase it to 10 minutes. Try that for a couple of days. Don't rush. Make sure you comfortably can focus for 10 minutes before you raise that bar again. In a matter of months or 2, you will train your brain to the point where you can easily focus for half an hour or so. Number 5. Create time blocks. I typically wake up around 7 AM and divide my day into many blocks to make it easier to navigate throughout my day. I don't randomly do stuff. The first block is where I focus on my morning routine, go for a little jog, exercise, breakfast, and so on. Around 8:30 to 9, I start working, and the period between 9 AM to 12 PM is the most important part of my day. That's when I do the most important things. I take the most important decisions. I don't take any meetings at that time. I don't check my email. I try to avoid any calls and focus on what really matters. My next time block is afternoon. That's when I jump into calls, attend meetings, do things that don't require high concentration, and etc. Dividing my day into 4 to 5 blocks just makes it a lot easier to focus. Number 6. Keep the final goal in your mind. You're building your business for a reason. You're going to college for a reason. Whatever you do, there is a bigger goal behind it. It might be financial independence, graduating from college, or getting that position in your company. Always keep that final goal in your mind to remind yourself why you have to hustle now, why you have to focus on completing that project. You will be as focused as you are motivated. Remember back in school, you probably struggled to do homework or study for that test because you were not motivated. You did not have a strong reason or a strong why to put that hard work. You only did it because your parents told you so. Sit down and figure out what you have to achieve in your life, or at least in the next few years, and whatever you do, make sure it's in one way or another connected to that final destination, so that the next time when you sit down to work, you know what you're hustling for. And finally, create a working environment. Have you ever heard about the hidden force that shapes your behavior? You might think that you're always in control, but that's not entirely true. Everything influences you, starting from the temperature in the room to the color of your desk. The people around you have massive influence over your behavior. There have been endless experiments to prove that. They say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So even if you implement all of these tips we have talked about in this video and do everything as you're told, it's all useless unless you change your environment. Make sure you're somewhere where you can't get distracted, where the people around you are as motivated as you. Prepare yourself to work, dress up nicely, clean up your desk from unnecessary things, and make sure you only have in front of you what you really need. I do not doubt that if you implement the 7 tips we have discussed in this video, you will fix your focus. Don't give up if it doesn't work straight away. It's not a one-day job. You will have to hustle. And now, it's time to give this video a huge thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and until next time.